So one of my priorities in this role has been to reform the foreign military sales process. In our travels to visit with allies around the world, that's been a continual point of frustration. We want them to get the weapons and the equipment in places like Taiwan and the Philippines, and we want it to be done more quickly. One recommendation I've heard is to bake exportability into the production of these technologies at the outset of the development. Now, that development is constrained by the requirements that you would put into the process. So what do you think about baking exportability into the requirements?
Senator, I just am not a foreign military sales specialist, but I will go to, I think, the commonality between the defense industrial base, what they produce, how they produce it, how quickly they produce it, and foreign military sales. I mean, the defense industrial base and the foreign military sales industrial base are essentially the same thing.
So if we could just broaden the question a bit, if you may not be an expert on foreign military sales, giving your best military advice, do you think there are ways that we could speed up the process and that we should?
And I think in pursuant to the discussions we've had today, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Let's talk about training. I know you have a history as an aviator and you're familiar with the limitations that the frontline units face, particularly with their training ranges, threat replication, OPSEC protocols, just to name a few. These limitations impact the training and readiness of the joint force for near-peer conflict. So if confirmed, how would you approach overcoming these challenges?
Yeah. Thanks for the question. And as a career aviator, we have run into restrictions in airspace, restrictions in emissions, restrictions in the physical space below you, what you can expend, how you can expend it. So the two ways to get beyond that, and that's virtual and constructive elements of the training continuum. You will never get, in my opinion, beyond the live feedback, the live aspect, but in order to sensitize and work out the longer range systems, the more exquisite systems, the systems that need to emit and receive without tipping your hand and also getting a workout, we need to emphasize virtual and constructive aspect as well. So that live, virtual, constructive continuum, those parts make up the greater part of the whole.
Thank you, General. So one of the provisions I led in this year's NDAA, it strengthens the department's ability to use tactical data links, something I imagine you know a lot about, specifically Link 16, and for testing and for training in the National Airspace System. So can you speak about the importance of Link 16 in the joint warfighting concept and the importance of preventing bureaucracy from impeding the ability in how we train and how we fight?
And Senator, this links back to the discussion we just had about limitations on training ranges and being able to use certain waveforms. As an aviator, I've been using Link 16 for a long time. It is the data link system of record, and it is critical to joint command and control. So accommodations that can be made to use that waveform, to use that data link so that we're expert at it. Once again, we don't get under center with no reps with the data link across the systems is extremely important.
Thank you, General. A different topic. In your understanding, who currently owns the DoD's requirements for joint protection from unmanned aerial systems?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the joint?
Yeah, unmanned aerial systems. So who in the department owns that? Is in charge of it? Let me preface it just a little bit more. I understand that Northcom acts as a synchronizer here, kind of a consultant on that. But as you see it right now, are you satisfied with the jointness of the requirements and the solutions moving forward in regards to unmanned aerial systems?
This is an area where maybe we were slow on the get-go, but we're moving very, very quickly. We have service executives, and we have a combined joint task force for UAS and for counter UAS, and I'm happy that we're moving at speed now, and everybody in what was kind of ungoverned space is starting to move in the same direction.
Thank you.